Bing, 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 bing.
Round one.
This
Fight.
is our third try at this recording for all
So,
the folks at home.
yeah, because I kept hearing noises, and I was like, it's my microphone. I changed the microphone. I do this, and Alex goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't hear anything. And then I realized that it was my headphones making the noise.
I'm looking fucking jacked, dude.
Oh my god, dude. Show the bicep, bro.
No, my biceps don't look good. I can't see anything.
Hey, dude, you look like you look like Alex Poncio.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. Can you hear me?
Yeah, brother. Yeah, I can hear
Do I sound
you.
really soft?
No, I can hear you just fine for
Okay.
fuck's sake. Okay.
All right.
So it's April, not 28th, April 18th.
Yeah.
And we went to watch a movie that I actually enjoyed.
Okay. Yes.
Talk about that.
Yes.
Have I liked anything that
It's
we've seen so far?
it's for both of us. It's been like, you know what? It's fun.
Yeah.
Go to the movies. You'll have a good time. That's what it's for. This movie was a fucking good movie. Like it was
Yeah.
an actual good fucking movie. Like it, you could tell that the director is like a nerd and like actually appreciates like the genre of like Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
and all
Oh,
this.
let's preface everything with I don't know Dungeons and Dragons, and neither
Oh yeah,
does Sal. I don't. I
yeah.
mean,
We're
I
not.
get some references. I get like the concept and the structure of it, but I've never played it, so a lot of things
Right.
went over my head. I'm sure yours too.
I wonder if I can get Ryan on the podcast right now because he knows Dungeons and Dragons a little bit. He's been playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, get him, call him.
You want to call him?
Yeah, try it.
Oh, he might say
What?
he might have to go to what?
He hasn't seen it though, so I mean, he could tell us
That's
about the
fair enough.
structure, but
That's true. Oh,
you know
but
what, Ryan? We do have to get Ryan on though.
Yes, next episode. So, anyways, so yes, yes, it was a phenomenal fucking movie. The writing was fucking good. The jokes were on fucking point. The action was amazing. Uh, Everything about that, but it didn't feel like a blockbuster, even though it was. Like it felt like a passion project. Like it was funny. It was very well written and very well directed. Like it felt like it didn't feel like a studio one like we'll give you this movie just to make money. It's like no, this is like a guy that really knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I think to preface it. Excuse me for burping. That is so rude of me. It is definitely in the same wheelhouse as like the previous things that we've seen. Meaning like it is just kind of like a fun movie. It's a fun watch, but it's handled with more care, I think. But also, I'll say the structure of this lends itself well, or the structure of movies, like those kind of boring movies where it's like, oh, you're sent off on a MacGuffin, you got to get the thing, and the one bad guy, because it's a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, because it's so you have like your quest while you're going out, and you have your like your structural like, oh, but first we need this, and to get that we need to meet this guy, and to meet this guy we need to get this, so that they're like quest hopping, right? So I think that it worked for this, but it is just a standard. For anything else, it would just seem like a standard thing. It was directed by John Francis Daly, who is
From the Daily Show.
From the Daily Show, who was the lead in Freaks and Geeks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he's quite a director now. He's done some cool stuff, and then he wrote it and directed it, and so did Jonathan Goldstein, who wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming and Horrible Bosses and Game Night, which are some of the best comedies.
Game Night, dude, was so fucking good, bro.
Yeah.
Like I remember going into it not like expecting much and just laughing my ass off the entire time, dude.
Yeah.
To this day, I still think of that scene where he had the chips, and because I didn't invite him, so he's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wanted him to make a cameo.
Oh yeah, that he's
A little bit of, oh my god, my dryer's going off, brother. It should stop in a second.
Hear it. Sorry.
Yeah, so that explains why it's so funny.
What before we get into the movie, did you do anything cool like this past week or anything?
This has been a pretty boring week, I would say. Hit Disneyland. That's probably the most interesting thing I did.
All
right. My wife and I are large Disney fans, but not the movies. We're not into the movies. We're into the parks. Oh my god, it's just getting louder and louder. Can you hear that at all?
No. We have noise removal.
Nice, brother.
So,
what's your favorite ride at Disney, Sal, as a previous pass holder?
You?
What? No, that.
Oh my god, that was so loud. Jesus Christ. My favorite ride, probably still Star Wars.
Star Wars?
Star Wars. But I haven't done the Marvel and the Spider-Man one yet. I haven't been to Marvel Land yet.
It's alright.
No?
I mean, it's not bad. It's just not going to be on anybody's favorites.
Yeah. So yeah, I like this. That Star Wars, that whole ride is unbelievable to me still.
Yeah.
Like that you're
the new one, right?
Around. Yeah.
The ride.
Yeah.
Star Tours, right? You love Star Tours.
Yeah. Can you hear that?
No, what's that? Now you got noises?
Now I got
noises. Okay.
This episode is just gonna be just a bunch of fucking mess, bro.
We've already been on a call for over an hour, so shout out to the people watching.
I had to go to Dallas to headline. I did 45 to 60 minutes.
Yeah.
To a total audience of 8 people.
How did that go? We haven't talked about that at all.
It was all right. You know, it actually didn't go bad. People were laughing the entire time, which was helpful. And the acoustic playing was really cool, so you could really be hearing those laughter hitting you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. And it was weird because I'm running this, and it's also it's this headlining gig that I did. It's also the producer booked me so I could practice my 45 more, 40 to 60. So I had my notes in there because I was trying to shape my hour to make sure that I want it that I have it how I want to do it, that everything flows how I want it. Because as you all know, my stand-up is it's storytelling based. So this helped me out to help me know which jokes to put where and be able to make it instead of just having a Mexican chunk of it, be able to trying to put all the Mexican jokes together to make it kind of flow all together. So it's one long either bit or that it's just flowing. So it's sections of stories that the fat stories and the Mexican stories, and the sex stories and the dating stories, So
what time did you end up ending at?
What was that?
How long was your set? How long did it end up being?
So I did 43. 43.
No. It has to be 45. That's what you're booked for.
Well, the problem is when you're doing it for 8 people, you're fucking
just flying through your shit.
I wasn't flying through it, but it was definitely when I ran it here, I had 46, and then
were you holding for laughs when you're running it in your house?
No.
Okay.
And then, because I had headline before, and I had less jokes last time, so I had 38 minutes. And when I had 35, And then when I headlined at the Dive and Dead, that was a sold out show. So I ended up doing like 43 then when I only had like 35. So if I would have done it in a room like that, I think it would have been like 50 minutes.
Yeah.
But it also like, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I'll just put it that way. But it just sucks because I spent the night in Dallas, and then I saw the movie in Dallas this morning, and then I drove like fucking your cat, and then I drove like fucking 4 hours down here, back home.
Oh my god!
But I had 2 Red Bulls like in a row, driving.
Oh.
I was tired as fuck, and there was like a 20-minute period where I was freaking the fuck out. I was like,
oh, yeah, that's not good for you.
Well, yeah, but like I was really tired and I didn't want to stop. So like my body wasn't like super awake, but the caffeine hit, even though my body was really tired. So it was a really weird like. But I was on the phone with Ryan, so that kind of helped me not freak out.
Are you used to Are you used to taking Red Bull? Because normally you just drink coffee. Yeah, that's a bad idea.
But I needed caffeine. I need to stay awake.
Oh no.
It is what it is. But I made it. I'm here. No, it's only the Wi-Fi. Like you'll see me freeze in this, but once it uploads, yeah.
But that's just because I'm freezing.
Oh man, we're having so many technical difficulties this episode. But yeah, and then you helped me shoot an audition for a movie, a very, very small audition.
Hey, there are no small roles.
And there are. Here's the thing, there are. I can tell you there isn't, but I'm here to tell you there fucking are. When you have 2 lines, that's a pretty small part.
Whenever they know you, I don't understand. Like, it makes sense for them to read you for a coach. Like, if you need something very specific, it makes sense to read you. Like, I don't know this guy. Is he gonna make a meal out of these 2 lines? You know. But when they know who you are,
yeah, not right.
Just hand it over.
Vicky Boone again, the Boonster baby.
Shout out to the Boonster.
To the Boonster baby. Oh my god, don't die. But yeah, so it's been a day. But
give us your lines. Let's go through it.
Are you ready?
Oh wait, I don't know if we can do that, right?
Here, I'll change up the lines.
Change the lines just a little bit.
Okay. Can I see that card? 24.50.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you. There's no small rolls. Go fuck yourself. Those fucking small rolls.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's fine. It's whatever. It's easy money if I get it. I get it. Boonster, the Boonster. Come on, Boonster, baby.
Have we talked about co-stars on this podcast yet?
No, I don't think so.
Co-stars, for anybody who is uninitiated, who doesn't know terminology, is there's co-star for TV shows. There's co-star, which is at the bottom. Besides like extras or featured background, anything like that, co-stars are speaking parts. And co-star is where you will have 1 line, 2 lines maybe. It can go up to, I think, 5. They used to call them 5 and unders because it's 5 lines or less. And it's usually just the guy who goes, "Here's your briefcase, sir." Or like, "That'll be $9.95, please." Or, "Can I get you a water?" Anything like that. Which, as a glorified extra, you get paid far better, but it's still a glorified extra. Like, whenever I've done those, like, I don't even make eye contact with the main actor. I'm just like, "Hey, yeah, no, like, please." They give you a trailer and they feed you and they separate you from like the extras and stuff and the crew who have to get. And
here's the thing about that is that a lot of actors will put it on their Instagram and be like, "I'm on set." And then you see what they did in the movie, and they're like, "That'll be $9.95."
Yeah.
You're like, "Come on, dude."
Yeah, they'll post the chair pics or the trailer pics, and their guy goes, that guy looks like a bad guy to me, and then you'll never see their character again.
Yeah.
Um,
For the gram,
so
baby.
so a lot of people will make a meal out of those kind of roles, and I get it. It's hard, but also at the same time, like it's for me when I've done it, you're just like, oh man, hey.
Yeah.
And the stars of the show are like, hey, nice to meet you. They're always pleasant, but it's always just like,
Yeah, you don't care. I don't
yeah.
care. I mean, it's just,
I know you don't. Yeah.
yeah,
Nice to meet you. I'm gonna eat my food by myself. I'll see you guys. Like,
yeah,
bye. Thank you.
yeah. I feel like I would just be looking at the camera equipment because you know that I fucking love cameras.
Yeah.
I would just they will be just setting up, and I'll be like, an area Alexa, I see.
That is the
No.
cool thing. I'll say is like
Yeah.
the hair and makeup people, costume people, cameras, lighting, like sound. They're all the cool people on that. They're super down to meet everybody.
Yeah. And
Those
if
are
you
usually
make them your friends.
I mean, they're usually the most fun people there. They're usually super
Yeah.
funny. They'll have a lot of great like suggestions for lines. Those are usually the people you hang out with, and then the other actors, like, not that they're rude, but like you got to understand that they meet so many people every day. Like they're just like they're doing their thing.
Especially when it's TV.
Yeah, they
Because
meet so many
episodic
people
every single day. They're like, I don't care, dude.
Yeah, and they don't know if you're gonna be weird. They don't know if you're gonna like. So they're just like, yeah, nice to meet you. Know.
Yeah. For movies, mine was called Day Player.
Yeah, I mean they still do that for TV.
Yeah.
It's just day like you're there for one day.
Yeah. But it's anyways. That's what I did.
You got to do them. It's all about the money, the moolah, baby. Hey, I'm just trying to work. Cast me in 1,000 of those. I don't care. I'm just here to work.
Yeah, come on, Vicky Boo, come on.
Come on. Please, maybe.
All right. Dungeons and Dragons.
Los Dungeons.
Los Dungeons and los Dragons.
How do you say dragon in Spanish?
Dragones.
Is that true? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's easy.
Calabozo. That's how you say dungeon.
Calamari?
Yes. Dragones y calabozos. Calabozos. Uh-huh.
Is that what it's called in Mexico?
I don't know. I never.
Because you're not a nerd.
I'm not a fucking nerd, bro.
I
don't know. I don't know. That's what it's called. Did you know that before moving here, like when I was like 10, I used to play Magic the Gathering?
I like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I wasn't very good at it, but I thought like the decks and everything was cool. And like I used to go to this market and play with like older people, and they would always kick my ass.
Yeah.
And then I moved here, and like everybody was about Yu-Gi-Oh. Like that was a big thing.
Oh yeah.
And I remember being like, but Yu-Gi-Oh is so easy.
What year is that?
I moved here in 2002.
Yeah, that's about Yu-Gi-Oh time.
Yeah,
It's Yu-Gi-Oh time.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh time. I was still playing like the OG Magic, like the Gathering, like the original, like the decks were the original decks.
You know what I hate about all this nerd shit? Like Dungeons and Dragons movies. Now it's cool. I used to be so embarrassed about playing video games and anything nerdy that I like. Now it's cool. Now you don't get bullied for it.
Yeah, I wasn't, because I tried playing sports, and let me tell you something. Musical theater was more my speed. All right, Sam? Like, yeah. I was so bad at sports. I got made fun of so much. Like, and in middle school, because in middle school I played football and basketball, and I was so bad at football. Like my dad came to see me once, and after like a game, and like I got hit so fucking hard, like I flew, like
your shoes flew off and your eyes closed. You went to tear.
I even remember like going to my dad and be like, "What do you think of the game?" And I remember my dad being like, "Migo, Have you thought about musical theater, Mijo? I feel like that's more your speed, Mijo.
That
It was,
specifically?
yeah. I mean, my parents always. I mean, I was good at that. I was good at theater. I was good at band. Like, I was an arts kid. But
Yeah.
the reason why I didn't like quit football in middle school was because I got bullied, and I was like, I'm not gonna let them bully me out of this. Like, I'm gonna stick around and like, stick it to them. Like, you're not gonna
Big
bully. Like,
mistake.
no, because I mean, yes, but this like 7th and 8th grade, I fucking hated after school because I had to go. But this is how like petty I was. That after 7th grade, I still rejoined in 8th grade just to be like, you're not gonna. And then I went to high school and I was like, fuck y'all, I'm fucking doing bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing this shit. But yeah.
Okay.
So you've never played Dungeons and Dragons?
No. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
No, never. I mean, I played plenty of. I've played Baldur's Gate. I've played like RPGs adjacent. Baldur's Gate.
Oh.
Or Neverwinter Nights. Things adjacent to Dungeons and Dragons, because there's a lot of stuff that's like inspired by or a spin-off of it, like Dragon Age Origins, like a lot of the systems, a lot of the ideas. Also, like KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the old video game RPGs are based on the same idea, like rolling dice. There's just dice that you don't see behind the scene whenever you're like playing. So familiar with it, adjacent to it, but never got into it. Because I'm not a nerd.
Because you're not a nerd, you love it?
And I don't get bullied. I never got bullied.
Yeah, you never got bullied. But you were also,
I never did.
Like,
never.
Yeah, but you were also the biggest kid in middle school.
I never got bullied. I was never bullied because I'm not a nerd.
Are you trying to convince us or you?
I wasn't bullied though.
Alex, were you bullied in middle school?
Yeah.
Do we need to talk about this?
Never bullied. Never been. I don't even.
Session?
I don't know what it's like. I wish I knew what it was like.
What even is bullying?
Bullying is when somebody they lift their finger, they put it in your ear, and they call you a punk or a nerd, and they give you a wedgie, and they skateboard off.
Do you think that a lot of like people that used to bully, like a lot of like kids in middle school that were so insecure, now like they have to have like girls have to do that to them in bed for them to like finish?
Probably.
Like he's like, oh, give me a wet willy, baby. Oh, please, give me a wedgie.
Make fun of me in front of everyone at the soda shop.
Tell me my father doesn't respect me. I don't know. Oh, ooh. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons.
Here we go.
Here we go. I think it's my favorite movie we watched so far.
Really? What have we watched so far? Cocaine Bear, Shazam, Mario, Dave, The Last of Us. The Last of Us was good.
Sure. But it wasn't
Last of Us was pretty good.
It was a series.
It wasn't a movie. Yeah. It was good. This is the first one that I was like actually wanted to see and excited for, and then also
did it to the point.
Yeah, it held up.
Like, I really don't think how it could have been better.
Yeah.
Like the character developments were really good. That fat dragon was so funny.
That was great.
The fat dragon.
I wish I knew the references. I would like the fat dragon. Is that a monster in Dungeons and Dragons, and they use like an obscure one?
like the undead army, like those
Mhm.
things. Like uh, they had some really solid jokes. Uh,
Yeah.
um, uh, I like the lady that can turn into animals. I thought that was cool. Is that do you think that's like a character trait? Now, did they write the story? Do you know this, or did they just like play a game and it's based on a campaign?
I'm pretty sure they wrote it and then they would play like on the side for fun.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure they just wrote a story.
I think most of the casting was pretty perfect. Because even the main characters looked like like people that were playing. Like sometimes they even look like how people like will dress up and play these games. Sometimes that's just how they look like the big guys. Uh, like the magician, he was just
Yeah.
wearing like a weird cloak with
Yeah.
like Kmart like Goodwill stuff that he found. You know what I mean? Like that's how kind of like looked like to me.
Yeah.
Um, I like the side quests and everything that they had to do. Uh, I just like honestly like it's the Fat Dragon was like the all the boss fights were really good. The action sequences were badass. Like
Yeah,
when yeah.
when I was watching it, I was thinking that to myself. I was like, "Oh shit, this is like actually cool." I didn't expect to be entertained by the fights at all. I just kind of want to get through them. But there was some cool like, "Oh yeah, nerd wrote this. Like this is a really cool utilization of this weapon or whatever."
Like whenever they're about to cut their heads off,
Yeah.
and that whole fight sequence, like she like John Wicks them. Like
Yeah.
she's like fighting just like John Wick and doing all that stuff. And I thought that was really cool. That opening scene with the guy like, "Oh, I'm not so bad when you get to know me," and she just like kicks his legs and like inverts him and then just kills the guy.
Yeah.
Um, I
I
thought
was like skeptical about another Michelle Rodriguez tough role just because that's what it is, but I ended up like loving her just as much. You know, I was like, cool, that was great. Like that was different. It was fun. It was vulnerable.
one of my favorite things is also the very beginning when he's trying to get pardoned,
Oh yeah,
and and he tells like this like very heartwarming story, and he's just waiting for that Birdman to like show up,
yeah,
and and finally he does. He uses him to escape by grabbing
yeah,
him, throw him out the window, and he was like, "We were gonna pardon you."
yeah.
uh, I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, that was good. Oh, and the
I
practical, like the actual bird costume, like they
oh yeah,
physically built that. There, I
I
mean,
love
there
it
was
though.
CGI, but yeah, there
Yeah,
was a lot of practical effects.
when the guy saves the kitten tiger whatever thing from the mouth of the fish,
Yeah,
that's a costume. That's a practical costume. I thought it was pretty cool.
yeah,
Uh, that guy was cool. He's
it
funny too.
was.
Uh, I
Sal has a
what
way with words, man.
yeah. I like it. I like it. It was fun.
That guy was cool. He
That
was
guy was
funny too.
really cool. That guy made me laugh. This is why you're in here. It's like, cause like the last movie, he just said a little kid describing the same movie the exact same way I described it. I like the movie. The movie was really fun. Yeah, I like the characters. We all know the characters. It was a really fun movie.
That guy was
And,
funny. That guy made me laugh.
yeah. Wow, cool effects.
um.
Like I feel like I
Okay.
described the movie like a 5-year-old. Dude, they had a dragon. I
Yeah.
like the dragon. The dragon was
Dude,
cool.
I like the fat dragon. That was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Dude,
Oh,
I like the flat dragon because like it breathes like lava. Oh wow.
oh my god! But
Yeah,
yes, it was
this is why
funny.
you're here. This is why you're here. You're the yin to my yang. I'm like, oh, the dragon was cool, and you go like, well, yeah, but because there's a lot of practical effects. Like, you finish my thoughts. All right.
Um, cool. So let's get down to the plot. I guess it it's very much like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Like all the characters have a
It's a
reason
really
to be.
cool plot.
Dude, that was a cool plot. Like if I had to give it five,
Dude, dude, I'm gonna ask my mom.
like 5 out of 5. Yeah.
Um, yes, the plot. I actually really like the plot. I don't know,
So
it's
they hit all the beats that you would expect from a typical, almost a triple A. What big budget Hollywood? Like a tip, because there's the indie things that can kind of take alternative story beats and stuff. They could do interesting stuff with it. Then there's like,
big
uh,
budget blockbuster.
yeah, but it's somewhere in between because it's not Avatar by any, like it did not have the budget of Avatar or anything Marvel, anything close to that. It's somewhere in between where they had a little bit of room to do silly stuff, and I'm sure Hasbro, I guess, who owns Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know why, but they bought it at some point, was able to say, we want this, we want it to be this, we want it to be this. And also the guys who made it have a lot of control. So they have a lot of the typical beats that you would expect from a big budget Hollywood movie, but they snuck in the exposition in such a cool, like almost like tricky way at the end whenever the beats came to get, like with the dragonfly thing, because I noticed that throughout, and they don't like shove it in your face. It's not like, oh, like you have to do that. They snuck it in throughout, and you go, oh yeah, and then they brought it back at the end, and I went, oh shit, like I knew that they were gonna have to bring Michelle Rodriguez back to life, but I didn't know they were gonna do it by way of
Like
him
his
letting go.
wife, like was there. I mean, like, hey, don't worry about me.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's technically a simple story. It's
very.
this guy's wife dies, leaving him with like the single father who becomes friends with this lady, this
Mhm.
Amazon lady, who help him raise the kid, but they have to like steal stuff to be able to provide for the kid. They get caught. She gets taken away by one of one of his partners in crime who just betrays him, and he has to find a way to get his daughter back and to get his wife back. That's
Yeah.
basically a simple story. But what they do with that story is just absolutely fucking bananas.
You know what? I'll say this is exactly what I wish the Mario Bros movie
Yeah.
did. Cuz there's like, 5 or 6 main characters, and this movie did exactly what I wanted to have happen in the last one, which is like, give me a little piece of exposition, give me a little breadcrumb that ties up in some way at the end. Cuz like in Mario Bros, they had a couple setups and then they just didn't care. It like the same amount of action sequences and silly stuff. Just give me one or two slowed down moments where we can get to know the character and then move on and show why it matters later. That's
And
it.
they didn't spend time in things that didn't matter too much.
Yeah.
Like there was a scene where like the guy who they have to go underneath the floor into this like to get the crown. They have
Yeah.
to wear the really cool fat dragon
Yeah.
where he is, and he
Dude,
falls.
that was funny.
Yeah, that was cool, dude. Where he falls like that, and then he goes like, "I'm going last," and then they just cut to him going last.
Going last.
Like
Yeah.
it's a little quick thing. You didn't fucking see them go down. It was like, all right, here we go to the cool shit.
Yeah.
Even in like big like monster fights, it was quick. It was like like this happens, this happens, this happens. They did a good job to like give everybody the respect that they needed, give everybody
Yeah.
the time and everything. Like, they created such cool characters that even if they were smaller characters, they were like, we created this, we spent a lot of time in this is really cool, we want to make sure we give this the time that it deserves. But they also didn't, like, well, the fat dragon, it was like a cool fucking thing. You're like, that's cool, that's great, I love it, we're out of there.
I want to know how many drafts they wrote.
Bam, bam, bam.
Oh! I want to
Yeah.
know how many drafts of this they wrote because it was so tight.
Yeah.
They trimmed all the fat in the best way. They would indulge in stuff just the right amount and then move on to something else that's important, or give you a reason why that indulgence was necessary later. It was so, like, all the behind the scenes was really cool. Again, it's not perfect, but it was like perfect.
You know, one of my favorite character developments is the wizard, because you know that at the end of the movie he's gonna be a great wizard.
Yeah.
Right. But what a lot of movies like do is, like, he's just shitty the entire time. Like, if on a character like this, they'll be shitty the entire movie until the end when he needs to be better.
Yeah.
Where him, he gets a little better throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever he becomes when he puts the helmet on or whatever, he realizes that it was him stopping him from being himself the whole time. But that time, he's been working so much and getting better throughout the entire movie. So whenever he becomes the great wizard, it makes perfect sense, and it's even more satisfying because it's like it didn't come out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like he deserved it and he worked for it. Like, that's the cool things about it.
Justice Smith was really good.
The way that they get out of a lot of trouble. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, when I think back on all the characters, I think that's why I like no scene felt wasted. Every scene, and of course, there's a lot of nuance that goes into that as well, which makes it even more challenging. Which I think they pulled off well. Is there needs to be a healthy balance of exposition, like, so we know there needs to be great character writing, so the moment to moment, like the dialogue and the way the characters react to each other, and then also the performance. The casting is fantastic, so they're giving this dialogue, a life that is really fun to see.
So good, man.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot that he was Chris Pine. Like,
yeah, he talked about, like, why he liked the character. He said he wasn't written like other protagonists that you normally see, and he was very nuanced. He was very, even in Star Trek, like, whenever he played him, he could be like a total dick sometimes, and characters go, "Oh, you're such a dick" or whatever, but, like, it's never addressed. In this one, he wasn't a dick in any way, but he definitely was, like,
he was self-aware.
He was self-aware that he was lying and doing these things, and he didn't get away with it, but he also, like, he said, like, I'm just trying my best here. I don't know.
The other cool thing is, like, it didn't take till the end of the movie for him to realize it. Like, he says that at the pretty beginning of the movie, he was like, I'm a fucking failure. Like, I'm the biggest failure here.
Yeah.
Like, it's... So
which
it's
we've
like,
seen.
Right. But it didn't...
That's been done before. Yeah.
Yeah. The other cool thing that I like the movie is the attention to detail. The little details. Mm-hmm. The way that characters get out of situations as well, I thought were really cool. Like, they're
really creative, yeah.
Very creative, dude. I mean, the whole portal gun thing, like, that was fucking cool. And and even though it was used a couple of times throughout the movie, like, every time they brought back something, it was really well done. The way they escape the labyrinth, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that they make the thing and they just go, like, if we stay here, we're gonna die. Like, you think that they're gonna try to beat the thing, and by beating it they get out, but instead they're like, we're not gonna play the game. We're just trying to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And the way that they get out is also really cool. That, like, jelly cube
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, what a cool concept. I don't know if that's part of the game, the D&D thing, where it's like the cool
That
gel
I do
thing.
know because they have jelly cubes in a lot of different franchises, but it's all taken from
Yeah.
Dragon Quest, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Also, the music was really cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
The
the
only thing I
soundtrack
was
a lot.
missing was give me some AC/DC in there, and then you got a perfect soundtrack, dude.
I hope you're being sarcastic because
Throw in
then you're
some Back in Black somewhere,
okay.
and then now I know this is a good movie. That
Uh,
makes me laugh a
that's why
lot.
we love Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Uh,
The one thing this movie. Oh, yeah. So, my ironic, facetious joke aside, the whole time I was like, man, this music, it was all like fantasy. It was lutes. It was they even show, is that a lute? The little hammer thing? Like, it's on the table. In one scene, they show it. I'm pretty sure it's not. Hold on.
Speaking of loot, I like also when they're
No.
going through the labyrinth thing, and even the little monster because they're being chased by that panther thing, but
Yeah.
also she opens one of the chests and it's a monster chest,
Yeah.
and it's
That's also a very famous monster from Dungeons and Dragons.
okay.
So
Well,
the fan service was
yeah.
great. Like, I'm sure if you like that, or just fantasy series in general, I imagine like the portal gun, the magic bracelets. I imagine a lot of that is in the lore. I know it is in other fantasy properties. It was just utilized very well. The fan service was great. I was just very happy with everything.
Yeah, the world was very well done. Like you said, I like that it was like it was tight. It was so tight. Like it was everything was as long as it needed to be. Everything was like the background story of every character was like they will give you the story of them and be like, all right, now you know it. You know, but let's keep going. You know, what I mean, let's all the characters. Even though you had your main characters, like every single character did enough in the movie to like that you had everybody like working together and all this stuff. Um, I like it, Fat Dragon.
I like it. What can I
like
say?
it.
I like it.
Um, it didn't feel like it was a blockbuster movie. Like it felt like somebody that cared about it put a lot of effort into it and make sure that it was done the right way.
Through the lens of a blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
Like the same way we both love Smile, the horror movie that came out last year. Smile was like a Hollywood horror movie put in the hands of a director who cares. Like it could be a very boring, plain horror movie, but it was handed to somebody who went, man, if I'm gonna make like a very plain, boring horror movie, I'm gonna like try to make it cool. And that's what this was to me. Like, if I'm gonna make a big budget, like Hasbro toy Hollywood movie, I mean, it's not toy, but you get the idea. I'm gonna like try to make it cool, and that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
Did the druid have a story?
The what?
The girl who could transform.
Yeah. It was her people got the main guy was destroying his people's land.
And so she had a bone to pick.
Yeah, because her like whole like people were getting this like their homes were getting destroyed by this guy. So
she was the only one that I didn't like. What was like that? What she had a reason, but what was her arc? Because everybody else had a nice little arc.
She didn't have one.
Is she the only one who didn't?
She liked the wizard.
Cool. She did great. I mean, she did.
But
she was really fun.
But she also didn't have like a lot of flaws. Like her thing was like, I just want to help my people, and you're the people to do it. Like there didn't really need to be an arc with her. She was just kind of like, I just need to save my people, and you're the people to help me.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily get into like. I think there was enough there where I was very happy with everything.
Right, and also like I also like that they didn't give her more than it needed to be.
Yeah.
She has a reason she's doing this. We already have like the whole wizard trying to be like more confident, because confidence is key. Uh,
Yeah.
you have the guy trying to get his daughter back. Um, that dude, fucking Captain America. What's his name? Chris Hemsworth as that tiny guy.
What?
Yeah, the what's her face husband.
I was trying to figure out who that was. That wasn't.
It
What was his
is.
name?
It's Captain America.
That's not Chris Evans.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
What was his name?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't. Either way, I love that scene, and I didn't
Oh
expect
yeah.
to. That was probably that stands out in my mind as one of the night. It was so cozy, and I love the growth that happened in that scene. Like, what a great romantic like relationship dissection scene in a randomly in a fantasy movie. Like, I was so happy with them, like breaking down the relationship. Like, why did it fall apart? And it happened in like 60 seconds. Talk about a tight, funny, just well done script.
It was
Even
funny and silly, but it was heartwarming.
it was really like his last line, though, like, hey, I found a loving relationship for
Oh, it was
me.
Bradley Cooper. That's what it was.
Was it actually?
Yeah.
I thought so. I went, is that Bradley Cooper? And
Yeah.
I guess it is.
I was laughing so hard at that.
Yeah.
Uh,
He did great.
oh yeah. Because it also wasn't like angry, or it wasn't like this big scene where like it was the husband just being like, "I love you. I just couldn't love you because you didn't love yourself. Like
Well,
you
it
left,
just didn't. Yeah.
yeah, you left your people to be with me, but it affected that your people wouldn't want to be with you, so you couldn't enjoy what you left for because you were still stuck in that." And he wasn't petty about it. He wasn't angry about it. The when the wife comes in, the new one, and you
Yeah.
think like, oh shit, it's gonna be awkward. Like it was just so respectful and so calm.
They could
That I
have
was
gone
like,
so hokey and dumb with it, like, and they just
yeah,
treated the characters with.
with so much realism and respect.
Yeah.
Um,
I loved that scene.
yeah,
It
I
was
like.
very simple and quick. Nobody's gonna remember it, but I thought it was so cool.
I like that at the very end. Um, when she's getting the medal, a little guy gives her a medal too. She's
Yeah.
like, hey.
Oh, that was the only thing that I was like, it was funny. It was a good joke, but her lip bite, I was like, oh God. Yeah,
But I think that was a joke though.
yeah, it was funny. It was good.
Oh, the other one that I absolutely love was the Dead People Rising with the 5 questions.
Yeah, that was great.
I like the first one where he just answering and
Yeah.
they're talking to each other, but the guy's answering. That's just funny. Did you stay for the after credit scene?
I didn't. I didn't think there was gonna be one.
Yeah, there's one. It's just that's the last dead guy who was brought back to life,
Oh, cool.
and he's like, "Is anybody still there?" And that's it. You're like,
That's funny.
Yeah.
They did leave him, and I felt bad for him. Did you
Yeah.
like Chris Pine glitching out?
Oh, dude.
I did not
I knew you were
expect
gonna
that.
like it.
Him glitch and his face growing everywhere. Oh my God, what is happening? Yeah,
That was really funny.
I was very impressed with
Yeah,
the execution of everything.
the entire movie, man. I like the fat dragon though. Yeah, I mean, even the villain. I also love that you have two villains, and both of them, like, they're they're not over the top. They're even they're like the perfect villain, and the way that they take care of both of them is so satisfying, and it's not over the top.
Yeah. I
I
like
love
that the solution was related to Chris Pine's character
yeah
and how he stole one time and now he's giving back, and that was directly is what solved the problem.
yeah.
Uh, just the way they did that was really cool. Yeah, Hugh Grant was great. He was so funny, and also I couldn't help but think of, you haven't seen Paddington 2 yet, have you?
I have not.
He plays the bad guy in that too, and it was basically the same character. He's so good in Paddington 2. Paddington 2, one of the best movies ever made, unironically incredibly good. You saw Paddington 1 though, didn't you?
I did. I might.
That's good.
I might. Thank you. I
Uh-huh.
might watch the second one after this.
The second one is like one. It's so heartwarming. It's so funny. It's really, if this is a, if Smile is a well executed big budget Hollywood scary movie, and this is a well executed big budget like AAA action movie, that is a big budget well executed Hollywood children's movie.
I'm excited because the last movie that I remember feeling extremely impressed,
Uh-huh.
like with animation, was the newest Puss in Boots.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was a fucking masterpiece.
Except it didn't have Shrek in it, so.
It had cool cats and swords, and it was
Dude,
cool. Yeah,
Puss, he looked good.
yeah. Antonio
He made me
Banderas.
laugh. Yeah.
I like the kitty.
Yeah. The dog, his dog friend, that made me laugh.
You know, he's so tiny and cute. I was like, oh, it's like my chihuahua. I hate it though because you did set up that video of that kid reviewing the Mario Bros. Movie, and it's exactly how I reviewed it. I was. So
Are you
mad.
able to pull it up?
I might.
It'll be hard to find, but
Yeah, no, I have it.
I didn't send it to you because I thought it reminded me of you. I sent it to.
Yeah, you did.
So
you literally said it's Sal reviewing the movie. That is literally how you said it.
I did not think that was. I didn't put two and two together that was offensive. I was sending it like, this is us talking about the movie, like not making the connection that we actually are a little bit bad at describing our thoughts.
I'm just watching a bunch of our mutual person that we know. That we send each other videos of. There's so many of them in our feed.
It was in our text, remember?
Wait, was it a text or was it
Yeah, it was a text.
Instagram?
No, it was a text with you, me, Jacob.
You, me, and Dupree?
You, me, and Dupree.
God damn it. Okay.
Oh, it says the video's unavailable.
Yeah. I guess they took it down. Well, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah. Maybe it's better that way.
Maybe. Mario, cool. But Bowser, cool. Jack Black is great.
Dude, Jack Black, Peaches, Peaches,
bro.
Mario.
So, what would you give it 1 out of 10?
I give this a 8 out of 10.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Or a 9.
I would give it a 9. I feel like 10 is like me leaving the movie theater being like, holy shit, that is the best thing I've ever seen. But 9 for me is kind of like, holy shit, like this movie, it was exactly what it needed to be. It was perfect. It's extremely well done. But it just,
I've asked this before, but what is a 10 for you?
Forrest Gump.
Okay.
I mean, everybody fucking loves it. there's a restaurant chain that was made based on it, and people travel
That
the
you
world.
worked at.
That people travel the world to go see. Like, I've never met anybody who didn't like Forrest Gump. Like,
Yeah.
and the average American, if you ask the average American who what their favorite movie is Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, that's a 10. Um, the Shawshank Redemption. 10. Did you know that was Stephen King?
Yeah.
Why not? Green Mile, Stephen King.
Stephen King.
11/23 or 11/22/63.
Stephen King.
I've been listening to so many Stephen King audiobooks.
Yeah.
I've
Aren't you listening to 11/22/23?
I finished it already.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out. What are we doing next week, Alex? Do you know what movie we're doing?
Evil Dead Rise.
Now we're getting to my favorite genre.
2 come out, and they're both in a similar genre. Beau is Afraid comes out, which is Ari Aster's third movie. Ari Aster.
I've heard one of my favorite YouTubers said that a lot of people are going to hate this movie.
Who?
I forgot his name. The one that we...
Stuckman?
I think so.
Chris Stuckman?
Okay. Yeah, I think he said that a lot of people are going to hate it.
A lot of people hate it. I think that's based off of the first two that, Hereditary and Midsommar, people hated. There's so many people this is not scary, but for me, I think I like Hereditary way more than I like Midsommar, but I think he's just a very polarizing director.
Well, I'll save our Queen Mary story for Beau's Afraid.
When we watch Beau's Afraid.
Yeah.
And then Evil Dead Rise is supposed to be super fucked up. Everyone's saying they screened at South by Southwest and they're saying it's rowdy.
Even just the fucking trailer. They showed the R-rated trailer, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, is this even legal that you can play this in this trailer?
Yeah.
It was fucking rough, dude. So
it's such a fun series. I'm excited.
Yeah, so we'll do Evil Dead, and then we might even do a double feature.
Well, yeah. Well, Beau's Afraid is 3 hours, so whenever we see that, you got to be ready. But Hereditary is 240, I think.
Yeah, but I heard Beau's Afraid is he said that every great director has a passion project that goes a little off the rails, and it's this is that for him.
Okay, I'm into it. I think it's, if you're not ready, Skinamarink, right? I knew what I was getting into when I went to go see it. So therefore, when I saw it, I was like, okay, for what it was, I'm not going to bitch that it's not accessible to most audiences, because that's not a critique. That's just
But also, it wasn't meant to be. It was 100% a passion project.
Yeah.
And for anybody that truly loves horror, I feel should be able to appreciate that for what it was.
Yeah, I just like criticizing movies for what they are or what they set out to do, not for I got so bored and uncomfortable. Wow. On that
note. Cool. So next week we'll probably do Evil Dead. If you enjoy this podcast and you actually manage to listen to it until the very end, we beg of you, boys, mijos and mijetes,
I beg of you.
Like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It fucking makes us feel better about ourselves, and it makes us get closer to our next step doing this.
It does. Also, if you do it, Sal will kiss you. And if you don't want that, you have to like it, or Sal, and he won't kiss you. And then
I'll send you my views.
Oh God.
Some people like that.
If you like that, if you don't like that, and you like it, Sal won't send it to you.
We don't know how to end episodes. So, all right. We're going to call it. I love you, brother. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Bye.
Bye.